You know, I remember being a kid in the 2000s, watching Nickelodeon commercials that built up the next SpongeBob episode like it was the next biggest event, and then it just turned out to be another episode. But this handshake actually lived up to that hype. So the Jimmy Timmy Power Hour came out in 2004, and I watched it recently, so I want to talk about it. Now, I ended up watching all 3 Power Hours in a binge across the entire series of Jimmy Neutron, but I'm going to break those up into different videos. So just to set up the premise, this was a crossover event between Very Odd Parents and Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius, where the main characters of both series accidentally found themselves in each other's worlds in those new animated styles. Jimmy's found himself in a flat 2D world, while Timmy found himself in a bulgy world. And they both end up going on misadventures in each other's shoes for a day. And while this definitely felt like a really big event for me as a kid, there are some things that really stuck out as an adult. And it was that I couldn't shake this feeling that it was more a Jimmy than Timmy Power Hour. As a kid, I definitely felt it, but now I don't really see Crocker getting into Fairy World and taking it over as that devastating. Maybe it's because of how much the show became nonsense over time, but it didn't really feel like any of the Timmy side of the plot held any real weight. From the very beginning, Jimmy's locked in. He's doing his damnedest to get back home. But Timmy, he's just having a picnic. At some point in the plot, he just stops caring. Which is accurate to his character, but for the sake of moving things along, it kind of stops everything in its tracks. Even when he learns that he's directly responsible for Gundam Goddard going on a rampage through Retroville, he still has to be dragged into it. And while you could say the same for Jimmy, where he was willing to let Crocker keep Fairy World, he didn't think it was real. Since magic had to be kept a secret and Jimmy didn't believe it in the first place, he convinced himself that it was all just a computer simulation, with no real stakes if anything had happened. Only really turning around on the issue after seeing that Timmy cared for Cosmo and Wanda the same way that he did for Goddard. And while the whole situation was fun to watch, it really did show how important the cast was to Jimmy Neutron by comparison to the Very Odd Parents. Cosmo and Wanda added nothing to this special besides screaming and non sequiturs. Although I'm not sure how much I can harp on that, because I did enjoy it while I was young and I'm just no longer in that age range. They did what they wanted to do and they did it well. But without getting into the thick of it, I felt more of this feeling as the Power Hours went on. But with that said, this does still feel like a proper crossover event. Both shows got to show off their strong points, do things that they wouldn't normally do, and interact with pieces they would never ever see otherwise, while also making things pretty non-consequential in the future. But again, that's part of the fun. I had a good time watching these two shows that shouldn't have gotten along together get along together, but what do you guys think? Also, check out Paper Ninja on Webtoons and Global Comics, really helps me out.